If you struggle to speak a foreign language, this is a solution. These are language islands. This is a technique developed to help you become conversational, then fluent, and then proficient in the language that you're trying to learn, or in multiple languages if you want to. In fact, this is extremely useful to get conversational and then fluent in multiple languages. Because once you start using this technique, you can reuse it for different languages. Basically, what we do is write a list of sentences that we want to use in the language, and then we translate them into the language that we're trying to learn. In this case, this is Moroccan Arabic, and now we learn the sentences. Where do we get the sentences from? Well, there are three levels that I use. First one is conversational, so the basics, introducing yourself, talking about why you're learning the language, greeting people, travel situations as well, including this. You know, flights, taxes, hotels, reservations, restaurants, and so on. Basic interactions should be between 100 and 200 sentences. You write them by topic, by situation, translate it, and you memorize the list. You read it aloud several times, and then finally you start mentally translating it. So you read the English or whatever your language is, and you try to say the same thing in the language that you are trying to learn by looking at the. So you, without looking, you read the English and you mentally translate, or you actually say it. It's better if you say it. Then you look. If you got it right, try it with the next one. If you got it wrong, you repeat it aloud again, and you keep doing this with all the lists, all the sentences in the list over and over until you get them all right. Shouldn't take too long. If you're thinking this looks extremely hard to learn how to say, like how does how does this sound? Like how do I pronounce this? Well, you should be doing a lot of listening as well. Start listening to podcasts and so on, but that's for another video. You should learn pronunciation with different exercises. This is for sentences, to learn sentences. So yeah, this is how you learn the basics. You read them aloud, then you translate into the language and self-correct. The basics. This will get you conversational with a couple hundred sentences. Around 1,000 sentences, this is where you're fluent. You make a list of all the situations and conversations that you usually have, usually talk about, all the topics, and you write a list of sentences for each one of them, um, and you memorize them all. Same thing, you read them aloud, and then you translate mentally, you actually translate in speaking, you self correct, keep doing it until you get most of them right, and you're fluent in the language. Simple as that. And if you want to get extremely good, then you should write long paragraphs about basically every topic you normally talk about, or things that you really like to talk about. You write very long paragraphs, so a lot of different paragraphs about subtopics. Let's say you like to talk about business. Well, you like to talk about, or you have to talk about it as well. So each and every aspect of it, you should prepare a paragraph and using rich vocabulary as well. Basically, you should. If you don't sound articulate in your own language, this is going to be hard to do. But if you can write well and you can speak well in your own language, you can sound educated. You basically you write everything in your language and you translate it. And of course, this is not the only thing, but if you do this, you'll be able to sound really good. Like you will be able to sound like an educated person in the language that you're learning. You'll sound proficient with around 10,000. So you see the gap keeps widening. A couple hundred is very doable in a week. This would take you more time. This would take you a lot of hard work. Um, I know people who are very hardworking who've managed to learn 10,000 sentences in 3 months. You can. You just have to do the work. And this is how you uh, overcome the fear of speaking. For example, if you don't do well in conversation, you struggle to start speaking. Let's say you learn a language and you're trying to speak to people, but yeah, you never know what to say. You struggle, you're afraid of making mistakes, so you never really get going. This will help you with that. You memorize hundreds, thousands of sentences for all the common scenarios and about all the common topics, and you just have to. You've got all the ammunition there, and you just have to shoot when you when you meet people. You just start repeating the sentences, not in the same exact order. You use the ones that fits the conversation. But if you've got enough, uh, if you've got enough sentences prepared, you can talk about basically anything with this. And this is how you become fluent, and you overcome the fear of speaking, and also how you speak with fewer mistakes. Because if you've learned the sentences in a correct way, like if they're grammatically correct, and they will be because the translator is pretty good these days, you'll make very few mistakes when you speak because you'll know this, you'll know entire sentences instead of having to think of how to form the sentence. Yeah. If you want to learn how to do all of this, and you want a step-by-step guide, and you want me to help you, join my workshops. And in a few days, I'll show you how to do this. I'll guide you through the whole process, and you'll get fluent in the language, in whatever language you're trying to learn, very quickly.